Hello everybody, welcome to my May reading plans. I know a lot of my friends here on BookTube are doing the Mood Reading May theme, and I don't know if I'm doing that exactly. I think I'm pretty set on the reading plans I have, especially due to buddy reads or read-alongs and that kind of thing. And if I'm mood reading, honestly, these days, I find it a little bit more of a chore to figure out what my mood is. It's like, what am I in the mood for? Where I am pretty sure that I'm going to enjoy the books that I have set on my TBR though. And I'm really hoping to get to all of these, but we'll see. The first one is a carryover book from April, and that is The Trouble with Peace by Joe Abercrombie. And so this is book 2 in the Age of Madness trilogy. And my goodness, I loved book 1, A Little Hatred. I think I'm loving this even more, if that's possible. And I have some friends right now who just started their first law journey with the blade itself and before they were hanged. And I've heard some minor criticisms of female characterization in that first trilogy. And I have to say, if that's your only criticism, or if you're enjoying it for the most part otherwise, then stay in the game because Abercrombie's female characterization only gets better and better. And that's the case with the standalones between trilogies, but it's even more so the case with the Age of Madness. There are so many excellent female POV storylines happening and excellent female side characters. And so this is dealing with the dawning of the industrial age and a lot of, what the cost is of efficiency and progress, and a lot of politicking and relationships that are making things very complicated, and some interesting, weird, wild magic that is occurring behind the scenes. So I'm just having a really good time. I was doing reading sprints over on Mad on Books channel the other day, and I was kind of glad I was on mute because I was laughing the whole entire sprint. I was just having the best time. So having such a great time with this so far. I'm only about 150 pages in, but hoping to hopefully finish this soon. We'll see. I don't know how fast I'll take it, but I am immersion reading this with the audiobook with Stephen Pacey's amazing narration, but I have to have my eyes on the page. I just don't find my enjoyment is as high if I'm just listening, and I know that's just me, but having a great time with this so far. The next book I'm definitely picking up in the month of May is A Feast for Crows by George R.R. Martin. This is book 4 in A Song of Ice and Fire, and I am co-hosting a read-along, a read/reread-along with Alex from Tall Guy Reads, Joanna Sousa, and Scott the Bald Booktuber. And Scott is hosting our Feast for Crows live show on his channel at the end of the month. And so I have to say, I know a lot of people are probably going to drop off at this point because everybody talks about how A Storm of Swords is many people's favorite fantasy book of all time. And I think for good reason. However, I will say if books 4 and 5 weren't as good as they are, then people would not be so eager for Winds of Winter for the continuation of the series. So I hope that that will encourage people to continue. I know it's going to take a turn and do some different things, but it's still well worth reading. So I'm very much looking forward to getting back into this world. It's wonderful. It's one of my favorite fantasy worlds of all time. So possibly my favorite fantasy world, honestly. I'm not sure. But in any case, I'm really, really excited to continue my read through or reread through. And then another book that I am hoping to get to in the month of May or start is going to be The Vanishing Tower in the Elric Saga. So this is the first of 4 parts of the second volume. And so I've been in a read along for a while with Evie from She Was Only Evie, and Sarah from Sarah Reads, and Liam from Liam's Lyceum. We took a long pause between volumes 1 and 2, but Evie continued and the rest of us have yet to continue. And so I'm so sorry, Evie, we're the worst. So I'm hoping to pick this up at the end. And I would like to immersion read this. The audiobook narrator is excellent. And like Abercrombie, I do like to have my eyes on the page when it comes to, well, any fantasy, honestly. I just don't do well with fantasy audiobooks alone. But the narrator is excellent for this. It's the same narrator who does the Sun Eater series. I'll put his name on the screen. Okay, and then the next one I would like to get to, and I'm pretty sure I will get to this, is The Lions of Alrasan by GGK, by Guy Gavriel K. And so it's interesting how this ended up on my May TBR because this was on my TBR for the year. And I was very excited to start my Guy Gavriel K journey with this particular book, thanks to Jake Bishop, who highly recommends starting your GGK journey with The Lions of Alrasan. And so I talked with Josh from Red Fairy Books earlier this year about buddy reading this together. And then a couple of days ago, I was watching Fantasy Awash, her TBR, and she talked about putting this book on her TBR and how her husband considers it his favorite book or fantasy book of all time so far. And so I got excited and she invited me to buddy read it with her. And then I know that Alex just finished it and loved it, said it was phenomenal. And then I talked about it to Theo yesterday on Why Read with Theo and Jordan. And and so I think we're starting a little Lions of Alrasan buddy read over on the Grimoire Discord.
I'm sitting here watching a buddy read create. Meanwhile, I'll sit here like, anybody want to read this with me? Anybody? Well, maybe if I can,
if I can squeeze it in.
By the time it's over,
Hey,
committed to 12 other buddy reads.
Alan, you want to read Lions?
No, I don't want to. No. I am not going to be an afterthought.
And I think some other people might be interested in joining us. So if you're interested, please join us there on the Grimoire Discord.
What do you call us? You call us a conglomerate. Yeah, that's right. That was super
because you're going to
funny.
be the one-stop shop for all anybody's fantasy Discord needs. It's just going to be like Stop by the Grimoire.
We have a whole Guy Gabriel case section, and maybe we'll open up an Alliance of Alrasan section as well. I don't know. But I am looking forward to getting to this, and I know that Josh is going to move his plans around a little bit to fit it in at the end of the month as well. So stay tuned for a possible discussion on that, and I cannot wait because I just have a feeling that I'm going to love Guy Gabriel K. And so there's that, and I think that's just about it. I did start and am reading at a very, very slow pace The Ships of Merrier by Jenny Wirtz. So that's to go along with the Wars of Light and Shadow read along with AP and Jimmy and Philip. I am looking forward to continuing with that journey and finding out more about the unicorns. I love that this world has unicorns, by the way. Anyway, that's about it as far as my definite reading plans for May. And of course, those are aspirational to some extent. But I'm really hoping to get to everything I mentioned. And if not May, then some of them might bleed over into the following month. But that is it for now. Please let me know what you're reading in May and what you think of mood reading. Are you a mood reader? I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.